Welcome everyone to episode 27 of the Circle Back podcast, the show where two great friends get together and just talk about video games. I'm Dan LaMarca. As always, I'm joined by Dan Dufrenoy.
Hello.
And Dan, we're going to kick it off like we always do.
But I think you should tell me what you've been playing first.
Okay.
You've been playing a lot more.
I think you've been playing a lot too.
I think
you've been playing different games.
I think you've been playing a lot.
All right, I'll start off. Still playing a lot now that school's over for me. A lot more free time. Playing a lot of...
We're very proud of Dan.
Thanks, bud. Playing a lot of Dota 2. A lot of Subterfuge. Just getting that competitive itch scratched, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah. Dota is like... The thing that sucks about that game is it's an hour-long commitment for one game.
Okay.
So it's like, if you want to do anything else, like once you play one, you're like, I want to play another. Like,
is that addicting?
Yeah, it gets its hooks.
It's so funny, and it's so nice to hear that you've been playing more of that, because I remember that was like a time, back in like 2012, 2013. That was like your game. That was your jam.
I've certainly played a lot of that game. There's no denying
and
that.
I'll never forget, I tried to play it with you. I remember you said, Dan, download this and play with me. So I did. And do you remember?
No.
Oh, I remember.
That must have been hilarious.
No, we didn't really get to play because I downloaded it. And, I guess my computer couldn't run it well.
Oh, okay.
So, it was all gray and blocky. And I kept sending you pictures like, Dan, this is what I'm getting. Is this you tell me this game's so great. What the heck's what's going on?
That's funny. I don't remember that.
Oh, man, it was a great moment.
I bet.
It's a great moment in our friendship. It was like a watershed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was really good.
Right,
it was really good.
I'm so sad I don't remember it then.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, though. It's cool.
No, it is, that game never gets old because every single game is different. So
Cool, man.
Enjoying that. Subterfuge in the midst of a couple games here.
Subterfuge, I'm sorry, that's the one with the subs?
Yes. You can always remember Subterfuge, subs.
You go to college, don't you?
It's been really fun with that as well. It's been some tough games, some broken alliances.
Yeah. Anybody you know, or is it all just people?
No, it's always just randoms.
But you could do that same crap to other people.
I could.
Dude, that's messed up.
Yeah, it's the way the world works, Dan. It's the way the world works.
We gotta change that.
Now on to the newer games. I say newer because they haven't all come out just last week. We've had a couple weeks for some of them. Number one game I want to talk about is State of Decay 2.
Yeah, go for it.
So I've told you I'm a big fan of the original State of Decay. Mm-hmm. This game really feels like State of Decay 1, 2. It's exactly that game with some little tweaks, and they kind of fixed a lot of things that I had issues with in the first game and just kind of made the same game. And it's great. I'm very happy about it. But,
you said
this isn't revolutionary.
They fixed the issues, though?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, they didn't add much.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But that doesn't make this... I think this is for me, a very good game. It's a hard game to recommend because there's not a lot of... It's janky as hell. Let me put it to you this way. Anyone that has not played this game, I'll explain it. It's basically a zombie survival game, third-person action, where the main focus of the game is building out a base and recruiting new survivors and going and helping other groups of survivors with different quests and stuff like that. So the way it works is you're going out and grabbing resources, and so let me put it this way. You walk out, you have an inventory limit, right? And you'll see the trunk of a car. You'll start opening it. You'll walk up, hold Y, and a wheel spins like this, and when it fills up, you get to open it.
Okay.
So that's important because if there's a zombie walking at you and the wheel spinning, it's come on, open the trunk, that sort of stuff.
That's cool.
And when you open the trunk, it might have fuel. It might have another melee weapon you can use. It might have a gun. It might have ammo. There's a bunch of different resources, along with medicine, wood that you can use to upgrade your house, stuff like that. So you're kind of walking around in these different areas, scoping out, grabbing resources, going back to your base, building it out, sort of thing, right? But the thing that happens is it's all systems driven. So it's in the world, there's a specific map. So you start on a map, and all the buildings are the same buildings. You have to like climb up to a watchtower and actually like look around and hold your aimer on it, and it'll like, you know, say, all right, we call this the yellow house. This one is the old scary house. You know, like they name it like that, which I think is pretty cool. But once you like kind of map out everything, it's your job to like go out with another survivor and hope you don't run across anything big, because there are like hordes that walk by. There are like, you know, big boss type enemies. There are these things called blood plague zombies, which when you get hit by them, a meter fills up, and it starts out really small, and you take a couple hits. If that fills up, then you become a zombie. Your guy becomes a zombie. Yeah.
Then can you play as the zombie?
No. Oh. They automatically turn, and they're trying to kill you. So what you do is when the meter starts getting filled up, you can find a cure for the blood plague. It's like an early quest. It's like finding the cure, and then put them in your infirmary, heal them up. Now they're good. They didn't become a zombie.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
Wow, so there's a lot of cool, interesting things you can do.
There's cool stuff, but what I'll say is there's the only thing that's like remarkable about this game is the character traits. So we've talked about Darkest Dungeon. You guys know we have Darkest Blunders, the show, but we know a lot about Darkest Dungeon. You know how they have traits? Mm-hmm. So what'll happen in State of Decay is you'll get a survivor, and it'll be like this person was a former high school athlete turned, fast food restaurant manager. So like he has very specific character traits that are based partially off of what he did for a living. So he's very athletic. He has high cardio skill. He's strong. He has good fighting skill.
He likes French fries.
But he might be dumb, which is negative. His wits are low, and then he may not be able to, build certain things or become a doctor or whatever because he's not that bright. And there are little things also that are like, it'll be like bad knee or something, and then it's like can get injured more easily and like stuff like that. It's very granular, and it's really, really cool the way that these systems interact with each other sometimes, because some people have like hidden traits that you don't even know that they have until they happen. So like someone might have all these traits, and then all of a sudden they're like mouthing off to like your other survivors, like being a jerk, and then you'll realize that a trait showed up that said like argumentative or something.
Whoa!
And then now other people are losing morale because they're sick of having him in the same house.
So how do you fix that? So like, can you move people to like?
No, because you have one building. That's all you have.
That's all you have.
You have outposts, but people don't stay at the outposts. You collect stuff from the outposts.
How do you tell that person to?
You can either exile them.
Whoa!
If you want.
Have you had to do that?
I have not had to do that. I haven't honestly played a ton of this game. I've played maybe 4 or 5 hours. Have not had to do that yet. But what I'll say is, you have a limit based on the amount of beds that you have on how many people you can have in your base.
So you have to exile people at some point.
So sometimes it's like someone comes along and you're like, this is a doctor. I need a doctor. I need to recruit this person. Who am I getting rid of? And then you might have to like be like, well, this person has a bad knee, a bit of a liability.
I don't like this.
Hard choices, man.
I'm not a fan.
It's a zombie apocalypse.
I say nay.
Nay.
Nay. That's for John Panay fans out there. I say nay.
So that's the best part of this game, is like the Simsy aspect, where it's like these people in the house together interacting, or I follow Waypoint, Austin Walker. He always talks about he loves this game because it allows you to create your own narratives, because it's very loose and open. So it's like everything is procedural. The dialogue is procedural. So it's just random, like what these people are talking about, what people are interacting with each other, like how it works. It's all procedural. So for a lot of people, they'll look at this game and be like, I don't care about any of these characters because they're not real characters to me. Whereas some people might look at it and say, oh, this was like this was the fry cook, who worked with this chef or whatever at the restaurant, and they have this, like you're kind of like building your own narrative in it.
Okay.
And it leaves room for that in a really interesting way. if you're on board to do that. Because this game is the antithesis of something like The Last of Us, because it's just so procedural, so wide open. You make up everything for yourself, while The Last of Us, you can't make up anything. It's a very driven, directed story.
Is there a through line, though? Like, is there like...
There are things that will happen. There are story moments that will happen, like... But it's procedural. So it's like, you might get a quest where someone calls you up and it's like, hey, we're nearby, town, someone was murdered over here, can you come help? And then you have to go over there and be like, hey, what's going on? And then you choose, you can help figure out who murdered whatever, but that might not happen in your game where it happened in mine.
So like every playthrough is going to be different, every person's game. I like that. That's
it's
cool.
Great, but it's a tough sell because the combat is boring, not very good. The game, it's not a bad looking game, and I think some of the art design is very good, but like, I think a lot of people would be turned off by this game because what I find interesting about it is the systems, and that's kind of all it has going for it. I happen to like it very much, but I think I could see it's a hard sell without knowing the person to be like, I think you would like this.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Because I'm curious. Like, it'd be cool if they had like like you said, we're like calling like to the nearby town. Like, it'd be cool if they did like some weird like Fallout 3 stuff, where like you go and there's like like those sort of like weird trippy. Like, have you run into anything like that?
There is some strange stuff going on. I don't know. I haven't run into anything really peculiar, but I'll say, but things like, let me put it this way, a nearby group of survivors might call you over, and then you walk in and they're pointing guns at you and they're like, put your stuff on the ground, like, give us what you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, shit, but you don't know if that's going to happen. That's what I'm saying. The systems are in place to have a really good time with this game. Like, I really enjoy this game. And you can do 4-player co-op online, with your band of survivors. Yeah. It's honestly a really cool game. I like it a lot. But like I said, it's a tough sell. It's almost like, we talk about A Way Out and how I really enjoyed it, but I wouldn't recommend it to everybody.
I get that.
That's what I'm saying about State of Decay 2, where it's like, I am really enjoying this game. I don't know that I would recommend it to everybody.
That's fair. That's cool.
Yeah. But, I'm having a good time with it.
Nice, man.
This game that we have both played, you beat. I am more than halfway. I beat the first 5 levels. That's like most of the way through, right?
Yeah. I think that.
Because then there's the big level at the end. So the game is
spoilers.
Stop. There's no spoilers. We're not going to talk about.
Okay. There's only 8 levels.
Okay, but the whole point is like there's 5 on that first map.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
And then
I beat that, and then I stopped.
Yep. Then you go to the castle.
So, game is Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon. Really, so anyone who doesn't know, this is basically Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a game that Koji Igarashi broke off of Konami in order to make a not Castlevania, but Castlevania game. And he's making basically a Symphony of the Night sequel kind of thing, or spiritual successor or whatever. And it's called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Yeah, that's the main game. So it was on Kickstarter. It did really well, yada yada. It's coming out later this year. And what they did was they made this smaller game that is like a NES Castlevania game that's like...
It's like Dracula's Curse.
Yeah, but it really is like... And it's a smaller game. You beat it in what? A couple hours?
It was like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Like, that was it.
But the whole idea is this is an NES style Castlevania game where the other one is Symphony of the Night style. And it is just so... Originally, they made this game, and they said, this is going to be a Kickstarter backer reward thing, yada, yada, and then they just decided to sell it. So it's $10 on every platform you're going to want it on. And it's just really great.
It's so well done.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It really, really feels like Castlevania.
Well, it's just like Dracula's Curse. You meet these characters, you get 4 characters, you can interchange with them, and you go through... And, like seriously, there's every single Castlevania trope, especially like... NES Castlevania trope. Yeah. Like, there's the one level where you got the they're not Medusa heads, but they're just the floating heads
eyeballs, but they are Medusa heads.
And then you got the knights throwing the knives. You got the birds.
They even have the stupid Fleaman equivalent.
Yeah.
I hate the Fleaman.
But
with those frogs. Ugh.
And it's got I think because I've played so much Castlevania, like certain things didn't bother me as much. I know I was playing with my sister and like certain things like she was like getting on her nerves, but like where like you're on like a little like platform that's moving, and then a bat comes down, and when you get hit, you get hit back.
Knocked
Like
off,
all those sort of Castlevania. It's so well done. It's really
great.
cool.
Yeah. It's really good, and it has an interesting shtick in that you are getting those characters. It's like,
but those are the characters that are going to be in Ritual tonight, right?
oh, are they? I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure because actually I'm 100% sure once you get to the end.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't beaten it. I don't know.
Because there's a story point, and then it says like to be continued, and then I think that's probably.
Oh, interesting.
I think that's what's gonna lead it into.
Cool.
So I'm not gonna spoil it.
What's really funny is like one of those characters is just Alucard.
100%. Yeah,
Like it's
100%.
just
Yeah,
Alucard.
100%.
Like literally looks exactly like him. He turned into a bat.
Yeah,
like,
no, seriously.
No, this game is
Even
really.
when you look at the picture of him on like the little like, it's like that's.
And remember, did you fight the painting?
Yes.
It's the exact same thing as
Yes.
It's like, come on now.
I know, but it's.
No, it's great.
It's
I love
awesome,
it.
yeah.
But I'm just honestly, it plays really well. It feels like a Castlevania game, and
You have the one character has the whip, and you can whip the candles, and it's all that.
it's great.
It's so good.
The game is awesome, and the thing that's really cool is I was talking to you a little bit before the show where when you play Shovel Knight, it's a throwback to these games, but it's kind of a mishmash of a bunch of games, whereas this is a Shovel Knight-esque, like in how much it feels like those games.
Castlevania.
But it's just Castlevania.
Yeah.
Everything Castlevania, but it feels like that. The bosses are like huge sprites with these crazy, moving parts and stuff, and it's like it's really, really fun to see these bosses when you get to them. And
it's just a great game, and like I said, it also warrants multiple playthroughs because there's so many different. What I like the most is like you have 4 characters that you unlock, and like each of them has such unique abilities. That and there's so many different paths to get to your like goal. Like I'm sure I missed like a bunch. I missed like a bunch of like.
Yeah, it is cool. They have the little skeletons pointing.
Yeah. But like you don't have to go that way. You can go
No, it is cool, and they have those classic like it's not wall chickens, it's wall hearts, but they have break the part of the
First
wall.
thing I did when I got into it was I went to a wall and just like.
Yep.
Try to check it out.
Yeah, it is cool. I definitely recommend this game. I think it's literally on everything. I think it's on.
It's only $10. You can't beat it.
Yeah, it's on
especially if you're a
PS4,
Castlevania
Xbox.
fan. Old school Castlevania is my jam.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I love it so much.
I know you also finished God of War.
Yes, I beat God of War.
So look for the spoiler cast coming maybe already before this episode. I don't know.
I don't know.
But spoiler
as
cast.
we all know, the spoiler
gonna be coming
already. Spoiler cast already really happened.
Yeah. We'll surprise spoiler cast for you guys. So that's that. I only have one more game to talk about here.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I was stalking you on PlayStation.
You're stalking me?
So I saw you were playing it.
Playing some Dark Souls Remastered. So, I've said it 1,000 times. Love Dark Souls. One of my favorite games of all time. Hadn't played it. I played through it maybe 3 or 4 years ago again, just to play through it. And I haven't touched it since. And it is so interesting to go back into that game after years of... Because I literally know everything about it, Like, you don't forget these areas because you go through them so many times. But I was telling my friend Ozzy, I have gotten to... So I beat 3 bosses without dying once.
No way.
Because I've just played this game. Like, I know these games. And playing through them, like, playing 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, 1 again, Bloodborne again. You know what I mean? Like, going through all this and keeping, like, your muscle memory for these games up. It's just so, like... but it's just ingrained where it's like, I fight the Capra Demon, like... First time, just done easily.
Like
Taurus Demon first time, easy. Yeah. But like I said, I've told that story where the first time I fought the Taurus Demon, the first time I played the game, I died and I was pissed off because I was like, "What the hell was that?" Like I was freaked out, and I died 10 more times after that. But it's just funny, man. The game is to have that game in 60 frames,
I was going to ask
running beautifully, perfectly. Blighttown runs at 60 frames.
Have you been to Blighttown?
Yes. Runs at 60 frames.
And it's nice. No crash.
Beautiful.
Nothing. Yeah.
No, the game, I mean, I'm super happy to play through it again because you know how much I love this game, and it's just so much fun to get the little reminders. Like I remember super early because I know this area so well. So like when you go through, I'm sorry, this is going to be for anyone that doesn't know Dark Souls, it's going to be annoying, but when you go through the Dark Root Basin at first, like under the smith, so when you get to the first blacksmith, there's that Titanite demon, right?
Right, yeah,
Shoots
yeah,
the lightning or whatever. So killed him easily.
No problem.
No problem. Walk through to the Dark Root Basin where, those tree men, like throw their arms at you and stuff. And you know how, like, normally you would just go through, you fight that giant butterfly.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you go out and make a right, there's a way to get, like, you get down to where the Hydra is. Did you ever fight the Hydra?
No, I never got to the Hydra.
Yeah, so, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
is
for
that
me,
you take the elevator thing down?
No. You literally, I'm telling you, like, you're walking through the grassy area, the Dark Root Basin, where the tree guys are, but way before that.
Okay.
And you go around this bend, you, like, make a hard right instead of walking forward, and it takes you down to a bonfire that leads into, I think it leads to, like, where Nito is.
Okay.
That whole, like, undead area. But if you keep going, there's just, like, a flat plain with, like, trees, and there's a lake, and there's a big Hydra, like, and I got there and I was like, I know I'm not supposed to fight this guy yet, but should I just try it? And I was like, no, I can't. And I just went back up. It was just so funny to be like...
Like you knew he was coming?
No, I just knew that I was in a spot I wasn't supposed to be this early. But I know the game so well that I was there and I was like, oh man, look at that motherfucker. Like, I see him over there. And like it's just so funny.
That's awesome. Do you think you could have taken him?
No, right. I mean, I could have. Like, you can beat that game without leveling
Well, that's
up.
the thing. I saw a guy do Bloodborne in like 24 minutes.
Yeah.
And like he was able to do it. Like
right.
he was like talking through it while I think he was from like IGN. He's doing it, like he was talking through it while he was doing it. He was like, yeah, 3 hits, throw a blood pelt, then do another hit, then throw a fire, then another hit, and then he should be down. And then he did it, and I was just like, oh my god, he did it.
Yeah.
So like, and he's like level 2, like But
like, that's how. You see a lot of these guys do, like, level 1 soul run, like, no anything, never leveling up.
But that's cool. That's just like strategy. You just
gotta be very good, execute. But that, you see what, like, that is the example of why this game is so good. Is because, like, it really comes down to execution.
Oh, like what you said, like you just like learn so much and you're just so ingrained and that you're just able to like dodge and just know where like an enemy, because enemies don't change.
Right.
You just have to.
That's it.
You just have to be better.
Yeah, it is. It is very cool. Going back to it, I'm definitely gonna play through it.
Worth the remaster?
Yeah, absolutely. It's $40. It's by far the best version you'll ever get of this game. It's 60 frames a second on PS4, Xbox, and PC.
Now that'd be Bloodborne. Maybe I'll pick it up just as like a.
But it really is for someone like me, I was gonna buy it no matter what, because as long as it was good, because I want that game following me through, you know what I mean? Like, I want the best version of that game forever just to have, you know what I mean? Like,
you love it.
I do, but I'm just saying, I think that's the value of a remaster, is like updated, well-made, like the best version of it. It's like, we talked about Shadow of the Colossus earlier in the year. It's like, this is now the way to play this game.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but that's valuable, you know? And I know when we had that discussion about remasters and whatever, sometimes it can be a little much, but it's like, for a game like Dark Souls that's so beloved, but has its issues, especially in the frame rate department, when you get to Blighttown, when you get to the Ceaseless Discharge, it's like you get into like single-digit frames sometimes, and it's brutal. You can't play like that, especially a game that's so incumbent on Twitch play. But super happy with this game.
That's awesome.
Glad to be playing it again, and like I said, I definitely want to see it through.
That's awesome. Maybe I'll get it and finally beat. I never beat Dark Souls.
I bet you after beating Bloodborne, if you went to Dark Souls, you would beat it easily.
And you know what? It wasn't that Dark Souls. It wasn't that Dark. I don't know. Bloodborne. I explained it before. Bloodborne just sort of like something about it just like made me want to just keep going back. It wasn't. But it's not. It's
the aesthetic and the story.
But it wasn't that I didn't like Dark Souls. I love Dark Souls very, very much so. But like, it just got to the point. And this happens a lot, where like other games come out and then you just, I'm going to play these games, and then you just that kind of goes on the back burner.
Yeah, of course.
Backborna. Did you hear I said that? Yeah, Backborna.
Yeah. Also, I'm still playing BattleTech a little bit. Thought I was at the end, but not yet.
Still going?
Yeah, 60 hours in,
dude.
still going. It's just a superb game. But I think that's going to do it for what we've been playing for this week.
Okay.
I do want to jump into our next segment, Metal Gear Corner with Dan.
I've been playing another game. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
All right, let's hear it. Snake Eater.
So this is the third game in the Metal Gear Solid series. Throws you for a loop because it's set in the Cold War, 1960s. And our man Snake, I put him in quotes, Snake, is sent to the USSR because there's a man named Sokolov. Sokolov. And what you find out about this man is he's a weapons nuclear specialist, right? And most of the beginning is like a whole like history of the Cold War. United States against Russia. You hear about the Cuban Missile Crisis. You hear about all these, all the things, anything that had to do with the Cold War and the Iron Curtain and stuff like that. They give you a whole history lesson, but they kind of do like, Kojima kind of slides in his Metal Gear lore, where you find out that
it's mixed in.
You find out that the whole Khrushchev versus Kennedy and Johnson thing, and the whole Cuban Missile Crisis was actually like a ploy from Russia to get this guy Sokolov back. Sokolov is this weapons specialist who defected to the United States, and apparently the whole Cold War was just deployed to get this man back so that he could make the best nuclear weapon ever, which you will later find out is the new and first Metal Gear. So Snake is sent to a jungle in Russia, and his mission is to find Sokolov. So you go through the jungle. I gotta say, so talking about like gameplay mechanics, I totally, when you recommended playing the Metal Gear games, I'm sorry to point my finger, that's rude.
It's very rude.
I hear it's actually, you gotta do 4 fingers. Like in Disney World, like they do that, like when they point to something, because that's like the courteous way. So, I remember you telling me, like the best way to play the Metal Gears is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just because of like the advancements and stuff like that. So like I really, really like, it plays already better than Metal Gear Solid 2 did. So it's cool running through the jungle with him. You get to change depending on your like what makeup you have on and what camo you're wearing.
Changes your percentage.
Like you can be like more stealthy or less stealthy. So like I really, really enjoyed that. So you run through the jungle and you got enemies, coming after you, and you got to change your makeup, got to change, how you're hiding, how your tactics are. Anyway, so through this, you talk to your new comrades, your new friends. I forget the names. One of them, the Mei-Ling character and the Colonel character. I forget. I think Major Tom was the main guy, and Paramedic was the woman you stayed with. Anyway, you learn about this guy named Colonel Volgin, a.k.a. Thunderbolt. Now, Volgin is after Sokolov, and he wants to overthrow Nikita Khrushchev, which is the head of power in Russia at that time. And Volgin wants to create a new government because Khrushchev is allying himself with the West. Right now, Khrushchev was becoming allies with Kennedy. Kennedy was assassinated, and you also find out that was a whole Metal Gear thing, that it was because of wanting to get Sokolov that Kennedy was assassinated, whatever. So anyway, what you get is that Volgin is from Russia. Khrushchev is the head of Russia, but Volgin wants to overthrow Khrushchev, and he needs Sokolov to do that.
Right.
So anyway, you find out about that. In the meantime, Snake rescues Sokolov. This is really cool, though. As you're trying to escape with Sokolov, this guy shows up. He's got like a beret and like a suit on. He's got his gloves, and he's got the freaking, what are the things that the cowboys used to wear in the back of their...
Spurs?
He got the spurs on the back, and he takes a gun, and he's like flipping his gun. Yeah, and he's shooting people. He shoots one guy, he's like on top of a building, and he shoots a pipe, and it hits him. It turns out to be young Ocelot.
Yeah.
So Ocelot's there. Him and Snake get into like a fight. And Snake compliments his shooting skills and whatever. And Ocelot, goes on his merry way. What you find out is, so Ocelot is working with Volgin to overthrow Khrushchev, right? Okay. So when you're with Sokolov, you're like, okay, we got to get Sokolov back to the United States. We got to keep him safe.
Mm-hmm.
As you're about to get him to safety, you go to this bridge, and as you're about to get him to safety, you see the new, I shouldn't say the new, you see the first Metal Gear being made. And Sokolov says, hey, I'm the only one that can finish this. Get me to the United States now so that...
it can never get finished.
So that Volgin can never get his nuclear weapon. In the meantime, Snake keeps talking about how his trainer, his best friend, the boss, who he's known for 10 years, she's nowhere to be found. Like, she's not answering, like, her, like, communications. So nobody knows where the boss is. Until you're about to cross the bridge with Sokolov, and out of nowhere these Hornets show up. The Hornets pick up Sokolov, and he goes into this plane, and the boss shows up. So the boss shows up, and she's acting really, really weird. And Snake's like, hey, like, I've been worried about you. Like, how's everything? She, like, breaks his arm, and all these guys show up, including Volgin. And then you got this one guy, this old guy, who, like, his eyes start, like, bugging out. And there's also this really creepy guy who's, like, a shadow, and his eyes are, like, red. And then there's the Hornet guy. And they're, like, this new team called the GRU, I believe. So what you find out is that Snake's boss, the great boss, the boss, has defected to the USSR and joined Volgin's forces. And we're like, whoa, no way, why? And unfortunately, being alive and being a video game fan, I know what happens. But anyway, we'll get to that point. But anyway, so this whole time you're like, oh my gosh, she defected to the USSR, she's working with Volgin, she's working with these terrorists. Like, what the heck? She throws Snake over the bridge. They have Sokolov. They go on their merry way. Snake's laying there. I'm sorry, brother. Snake's laying there, like, destitute, all broken up. And this is another cool mechanic, too. He's laying there. He's, like, all bloody. He's a bloody mess. To heal, you have, like, this whole, like, new mechanism where you can, like, give yourself, like, a suture and give yourself, like, a bandage and, like, a this and that and reset your arm, give yourself a splint and give yourself antiseptic and, like, all this stuff. So that's cool. That might get a pain in the butt, though, like, after a while.
Definitely does, but I love that mechanic.
That's such a cool mechanic.
Everyone hated it. Everyone
really?
hated it.
I think that's
because
pretty cool.
It can get tedious. Every time you get shot, you need to, like, dig out the bullet or whatever, but it's, like, it's interesting.
Yeah, it is cool.
It adds a layer to it.
Yeah, definitely. So after that, so Snake's hurt. Then what happens is Volgin launches a nuke, a warhead that blows up part of Russia, right? And that's kind of like the end of that chapter, kind of. So then you wake up a week later. Snake's going back into the mission. He's all healed up, but what you find out is that the missile that Volgin launched, right? The Russian government blames the United States for that. They think that the United States sent that missile. There's a conversation between Nikita Khrushchev and Lyndon B. Johnson where Khrushchev is like, listen, I know that wasn't you guys. Lyndon Johnson's like, listen, seriously, I had no idea about this. They talk about the boss. He says, listen, our greatest soldier, the boss, has defected. We don't know what her deal is. We don't know what's going on. And Khrushchev says, all right, well, everybody here thinks that this is your doing. You're going to have to prove to me, if we're going to become allies, you're going to have to prove to me that you didn't launch this nuclear missile. And the only way to do that is you got to kill Volgin and you got to kill the boss. And Snake is the only person.
He's the man for the job.
That can do that.
Yeah.
So I totally see the dilemma because this is his best friend. This is his everything. And now he's sent to go and, first off, destroy the entire GRU team, including Volgin, but also kill the boss. In order to do that, to create peace between Russia and the United States, but also to ensure his own freedom.
That's right.
So
it's a pretty good setup, right?
That was a pretty good setup, yeah.
I really like the beginning of this game. I think it sets a good tone.
It really does set a good tone. And I didn't get much more after that. I kind of walked through the woods. You run to the boss again, and she's like, if you find me again, I will kill you. And that's pretty much as far as I got. My next thing is there's this guy, Adam, who's a Russian defector. And you got to just find him, and I guess he's going to be on your side now. But
cool.
That's as far as I've gotten. But yeah,
nice.
it's a really good setup. Like, I actually, like...
It's a nice breath of fresh air.
You know my
two,
feelings after 2.
Saying?
Like, 2 was just, like... It was, like, super, like... meta and just like, and that's cool and like I appreciate it, but like it was just sort
It's
of
not your thing.
It was just a slog.
Yeah.
This was cool. This is like I feel like I'm gonna really enjoy this one.
I always go 3-1, 3-1. They're like my two favorites.
Okay.
And I think that the reason 3 is so good is because it has all this serious real world stuff going on, and then there's a man that's made of bees. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's just so ridiculous and over the top in a similar way to the first game.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're trying to do this like cool story, and then it's like, but wait, what? Like
and this
Psycho Mantis? Yeah, I'm like,
Decoy Octopus?
Yeah. You know what I mean, though? It's fun in a good way rather than, like, being like, all right.
Yeah.
How 2 and 4
Well, what were your thoughts about 2? I mean, I don't think we really went
2 I like a lot.
Yeah.
I like all of them for different reasons, but 1 and 3 I always say are definitely my favorite.
Because, like, 2 I got, but, like, 2 was, like, just... And I'm totally, like, I don't need, like, super mindless entertainment all the time, but, like, you know, 2 was just, like, so much,
right?
You know?
Yeah, 2 and 4 share a lot of the same DNA, and 1 and 3 do.
Okay.
That's usually how that goes, honestly. Yeah. I love 2 for what it is, and there are parts in it that hit more for me than hit for you, but I think the way things are going, I think you're gonna like 3 a lot.
Yeah, I feel good about it.
Yeah,
I'm curious about that guy who's like he looks. It was weird. He's like a ghostly looking guy, and he comes up to her, and he's got like the red eyes, and he's like, I want to know who he is. He looks cool.
You'll find out.
He looks scary.
Yeah, there's some really interesting characters in that game.
Yeah, cool.
Really good moments in that game. I mean, every Metal Gear has great moments.
Unfortunately, being alive and being a video game
major
fan,
end moment.
I know what's going to happen.
But I will say there's still lots of twists and turns that you're going to enjoy. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
awesome.
I'm excited, man.
Well, Dan, I'm glad you've been enjoying that.
I'm very excited for once I beat the 5 Metal Gear Solid games.
Yeah.
For us to like have like we should do like a
little post-mortem.
I just want to do like a whole thing on like Metal Gear Solid.
I'm in. That sounds awesome.
That'd be cool.
All right, so we're going to move ahead to our last segment for today. We're going to wrap up our E3 look ahead. So basically we have a list of games here that don't belong to under the umbrella of Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony specifically. They could have some partners here, but these are just kind of the miscellaneous, all other games that we expect at E3 and things that we're excited for. So number 1, big one. Now we know that because they announced that it's pushed to 2019, pushed back, delayed. We all freaking knew that. When we did our look ahead to 2018, I said it from the second one. There's no way Anthem's coming out. So
Anthem was the game.
Anthem was the game, if you guessed it. New BioWare game. Everyone's very excited for this. I guarantee they will show.
They'll have to show some more.
They'll show some more stuff. I'm curious what it is, if it's gameplay or not. But
what they showed they have like a 20-minute playthrough or something like that. Like that looked pretty dope.
Yeah. It's hard to tell without having somebody with a controller.
Right.
Because there was no HUD, there was nothing, and that might be the game. We don't know. We just don't know a lot about this game right now. It's exciting because, I think you're a fan of BioWare as I am.
Of course.
Big fan of Mass Effect games.
Yeah.
I like some of the Dragon Age games as well. Even older than that, KOTOR is one of my favorite series. But so I'm always in for what they're doing if it's good. Being one of the biggest Mass Effect fans, you'll see me not even touching Andromeda.
Yeah,
says a lot.
Was that BioWare too? Like they?
Yes, but I don't know. We'll see with Anthem. I'm excited for it, but I'm also cautiously optimistic because I don't want to get my hopes up too high. There is a game on here, and I'll bring it up next, that I don't care if it doesn't live up to my expectations. I'm not going to be cautiously optimistic.
Which one?
And that's Cyberpunk.
Oh, 2077? Yeah, dude.
That game...
You think it's coming out this year?
Do I think it's coming out this year? No. It'll be at E3, though. And I think we're going to get gameplay.
Oh, man.
Because I think it's coming out next year.
That's going to be dope.
That game is just so exciting. The Witcher 3 is such an amazing, amazing game that if they can make something like that in this incredible cyberpunk universe
like
that they're building.
Blade Runner-ish kind of, yeah.
But it's just like, you can't dream up stuff better than that. Like, that's going to be such an... That's what I'm saying. And I'm probably overblowing it in my head, and it's going to come out and be like, oh, it's good. But, like,
just try that out.
I'm so excited for that.
I'm excited.
But there's a bunch of other games on this list that I'm also excited for.
Okay.
All right, where's that coming from? Is that next door?
I guess so.
Stupid. We also have Shadow of the Tomb Raider here.
Okay.
We know that that's going to be on there because they already announced that it's releasing this year, later this year.
I'm excited for that. I mean,
I'm excited for that.
Tomb Raider
I
is
love.
really good.
I think those games are
really well done.
It's not that they're underrated; it's that they're underappreciated. Like I think those games are like really good.
Especially because it's not just like combat or like spelunking. Like a lot of it's just like even like the crafting your own weapon. Like there's just a lot to it.
Yes, there's a ton to it, and it's really fun. And they do. I said it a million times. God of War owes a lot to this game, to these Tomb Raider games, because that's kind of the blueprint. More than anything else. That's kind of the blueprint. The exploration stuff, a lot of the combat, it's like feels a lot like Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for Shadow of the Tomb Raider for sure. I think that's going to be a really good one. I'm curious because it is not the exact same team that made the first two.
Oh, really?
So we'll see what happens.
Because Rise of the Tomb Raider was amazing.
But the reason that the Rise of the Tomb Raider team isn't on this is because, I'm going to skip ahead, that team at Crystal Dynamics is making an Avengers game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, how's that? Ooh.
Third-person action. We haven't seen it, but the Tomb Raider team is making
doing an Avengers game?
Very interesting.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That will be at E3, and that's going to be exciting to see because we haven't seen a single thing about it. We just knew it was announced and it was talked about.
I hope it's good. I hope it's like...
Yeah,
it's going to be third person?
Yeah.
It's not going to be like... Because I've seen like the Avengers games or even like the X-Men games where like it was, you get the 4, but then it's like a top-down. Like
right. And those games are great. Yeah. But
X-Men Legends is awesome.
Yeah, I love those games, but no, this is... I mean, it's all rumors right now. They didn't announce anything. But rumors are third person behind the back, straight up Avengers game. So
cool.
We'll see. That sounds interesting. Red Dead Redemption 2 will be there, of course. Yeah. In their own way. They don't really participate in E3, but they'll put something out around that time.
Is there a reason they don't participate in E3? Is there like a...
Yeah, they don't need it.
That's true.
That's exactly why. They don't need it. They're Rockstar.
They're rock stars, yo! Oh no, they're Rockstar. I'm sorry. That's
yes, they're Rockstar. But... that game we're all excited for. It comes out October. A couple of games on here are due out later this year, so I'm like, of course, excited for them. But it's like, what I love is the announcements at E3 and seeing something for the first time. You know what I mean? Like Red Dead, we know what we're getting, and it's going to be amazing. But am I excited for its E3 showing? Not really.
No.
I think another game that can fall into that category is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which, I mean, we talked about Curse of the Moon
a little bit,
at the top, but that is due out later this year, and that I'm sure will be at E3 because I don't know exactly when that's coming out, but it's certainly not coming out before E3. So
that's exciting, though.
Definitely excited for that. Bethesda is a good question mark here because people are trying to line up the timelines, right? So we know Rage 2. It was already announced. It's coming. It'll be at E3. They announced it because of that Canadian Walmart or whatever that leaked that whole list of games. But Rage 2 coming, we know that. Now, the question is, when you're doing the math on Skyrim came out.
2011?
Yes. Then Fallout 4, 2014 or 2015?
2015.
So 4 years. Before that was Oblivion. Actually, Fallout 3 was 2007, right?
Didn't Fallout 3 and Oblivion come out the same year?
That would be insane.
No, I'm pretty sure.
No way.
I'm pretty sure it was 2008.
God, I have to look
Let's
that
see.
up. Absolutely not.
I'll bet
Oblivion came out in 2006, I believe.
I'll bet my muffin on it.
All right, I'll take that bet.
I'm pretty sure it was the same year.
No.
I mean, I could be wrong.
It's definitely not. March 20, 2006 for Oblivion. Fallout 3, 2008.
Oh, damn. You got my muffin?
So look,
chocolate chip.
3 years, Fallout 3 to Skyrim, 4 years for Skyrim to Fallout 4. Now, people are saying something's coming from Bethesda, from Todd Howard's studio, which is Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Elder Scrolls. For a very long time, there's been this rumor of a game called Starfield. And the big rumor is it's basically Elder Scrolls in space.
Right, yeah, it's space.
Which is interesting, and I would definitely love to see it. I don't know if that's coming or not. I have no idea, but I think there's been a teaser up lately that's like a, standby or whatever. It's like a screen, and people are thinking it's a Fallout thing because it does have that kind of, Fallout iconography of older, like, electronic stuff,
right,
like, tape playing and stuff like that. But we'll see what that is about. I don't know what that is. I really think we're going to get either new Elder Scrolls announced or Starfield.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I really think so.
Which one would you want more, though? New Elder Scrolls or Starfield?
I'd be happy with whatever they want to do.
I don't know if I have time for another Elder Scrolls.
Well, it's certainly not coming out this year, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, ugh.
They'll just, whatever they're going to do, they're going to show a teaser for, and then they'll hype it up over the next year, and then it'll come out 2020 or whatever. Yeah. But, I'm excited to see what they have. There are other small things I'm sure that they're going to do. It isn't ready for another game yet, although it is doing Rage 2, but not, I don't think that's the whole team. Mm-hmm. If I'm wrong and that is the Doom team, then I'm instantly more excited for Rage 2, because that Doom game was a nearly perfect shooter. So we'll see. Bethesda, we'll see what you have. We have a couple more Square Enix things we're going to jump into. Kingdom Hearts 3, still saying it's coming out this year.
Yeah, but we haven't seen anything on it, have we?
We have.
Oh, have we?
Recently, yes. Recently, a bunch of people got to play it.
Oh, really?
And
There's about Kingdom Hearts 3 forever now.
Yeah. So I'm not a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. I'm not too, excited for this, but I still don't know if it's going to make it out this year.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe it does. Final Fantasy VII Remake. God knows when that's coming.
I don't know. It is cool, though. They have had some gameplay, like a while ago.
You talking about in the very beginning?
In the very beginning, where they had where you come out of the like in the beginning of Final Fantasy VII, come out of the train and.
Listen, Square Enix, number one, they showed gameplay about Final Fantasy Versus 13, which became 15. They showed gameplay 8 years before Final Fantasy 15 came out.
Oh, really?
And it was nothing like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll see what the hell they're going to do. I'm sure they have prototypes of what they're going to do, but until we see it for sure, I won't hold my breath. Borderlands 3.
Right, yeah.
Another one that was leaked, Canadian Walmart, but they've been very open, Randy Pitchford, very open about we're making a Borderlands 3. They've kind of said it. So, excited to see what that's about. I have a kind of a love-hate relationship with Borderlands. That first game I was like obsessed with.
Yeah.
Loved it. It's such like a genius like pairing of RPG and shooter. Absolutely loved that first game. Second game, really solid gameplay, more heroes and different abilities and stuff, like really fleshed out the idea of the first game, but it started venturing into that really terrible humor, like that cringy ass internet humor.
Handsome Jack and all that.
But it started there, and then it got worse and worse and worse as the stuff went on and on. Like the expansions for 2 were out of control bad, and then the fucking pre-sequel is like, I started to literally be like, I can't play this because of this stuff. Like, even though I really enjoy the gameplay and playing with your friends and stuff like that, it's like too much. So, see what Borderlands 3 looks like. If it's raising it even higher than that, then no thank you. But, we'll see. We have a little list of indie games here that I am very excited for. Ashen is the first one that comes to mind. It's kind of like a really stylish, really interesting art style, actually, for a Dark Souls-y type of game. I'm going to, just so that you...
Is it Dark Souls-y kind of game?
Yes.
What developers? Anybody I would know?
No, it's just, it's like a little indie game. I don't think it's anybody. It's made with Microsoft, but I don't think it's a Where's some of that gameplay? That's Dark Souls. See how it's like
like
nobody
that.
really has faces or anything.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this trailer at Xbox, and
Oh, is it only for Xbox though?
it might be. Yeah, I think they're being funded by Xbox because Annapurna, who makes like a lot of indie games, they published What Remains of Edith Finch and like a couple other stuff like
You think
that.
it'd be on PC though? Maybe.
I definitely would be on PC because every Xbox game come to Microsoft store.
Mm-hmm.
But Ashen looks really cool. I'm excited for that one. Ooblets is a new game by Double Fine.
Okay.
I like everything Double Fine does. I just love their style. I think they're awesome. Excited to see that one. Donut County is a really interesting one that here, I'll show you something for that too. It's basically like you're a hole in the ground. You play as a hole in the ground that kind of like sucks up everything around you kind of thing. And it's like a beautiful, like stylized indie game that's just...
It looks like The Simpsons.
No,
Actually, no, it doesn't. I don't know why I said that.
You just saw the big donut.
I just saw the big donut and I thought of The Simpsons.
But yeah, you see how it's like kind of sucking everything in there. Like it's kind of like a reverse Katamari kind of thing, where like instead of building up, you're eating things, sucking them down. But it's exploring the town and finding out the world and stuff like that.
It looks
like
beautiful.
That's the interesting thing. I think it's gonna be one of those games that people that have played it are like, this is really charming.
Yeah.
The writing's good. Like that sort of stuff. Griftlands is by Clay, who made Don't Starve and Oxygen Not Included, and one of my favorite games that I can't remember the name of for some reason. What the hell is the turn-based game, the cyberpunk game that you watched me play, one of the first ones? It's a turn-based strategy, but you're like unlocking stuff. It's like espionage. No.
I watched you play this. I watched you play a lot of games.
No.
Wait a second.
This is honestly one of my favorite. Invisible Ink.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love that game. I don't know why I just drew such a blank on it, but that's my favorite game by Clay by far. And it's honestly like such a great game. Like it's up there for me. If we did a top 50 instead of 25, it'll probably be on there.
Really?
Yeah, it's that good. But Griftlands is a beautiful, really interesting. I've seen some turn-based combat from it. We don't know exactly what it is, but the things that I've seen from it, it's developed by Clay. It looks like a Mad Max cyberpunky kind of thing.
Cool.
That looks really, really interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
UFO 50 is... So, it's headed by Derek Yu, the guy that made Spelunky.
Okay.
And the whole idea for it is it's 50 real short games in one game.
I think you told me this.
I
Yeah.
definitely talked about it before because I'm so excited for this game. And it's made, each one of these mini games is made by a different developer.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And so Moss Mouth is putting it out, which is Derek Yu's studio, but it's being worked on by all these different talented developers. And some of these games, from what I heard, you might get a game that's really simple, 5-minute loop, play it again, because the whole idea is it's Atari and television style.
Is that what it's like?
Yeah.
It looks like that, little blocks.
Yes.
And
But some of them are full-on games, and it's really interesting to think about. I'm just so excited to get my hands on this and see what the hell it is fully. You know what I mean?
So what is it? Is it just you pick which minigame you want to play, or it's just you got to get through
Yeah,
all
no,
of
it's it's one of the, it's
those
it's,
game packs you used
it's
to get.
the Super, it's like the NES, Super NES Classic or whatever.
Yeah, you get to pick. That's cool.
Yeah,
But they're all a bunch of new video games.
they're all brand new.
So it's not
Yeah, it's a collection of games, and they're all different. They have all different art styles and stuff like that. So these look a little more.
Double Dragon, that one.
Yeah, but that's the whole idea. It's it's just packed in with brand new,
And all games. That's so cool.
It's so cool.
And each
This
one's
looks
by a different developer.
Yep. And this looks like a different. So I don't know if it's 50 developers, it might be 30, and some guys did multiples. I don't know what the deal is with that. But look at this. Like, it's just so cool to, like, get all these brand new, like, retro style games that could be super quick or they could be, you know, like, we're looking through this. These are all different. This looks like a turn-based. Like, this looks.
I love it though. You know what's so interesting? Like, I feel like we live in a day and age where everybody's all about graphics, but like old, like 8-bit, like graphics, like it's like become such like a nostalgia. Like,
right.
Whoa, like let's do something like that, or like it's been such like a selling point. Like, oh, it's got like retro, like a retro feel. Well, that looks like the Triceratops from the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it does. This definitely looks like a like city builder type of thing. See, it's like
that's so cool.
Produce that.
And that's definitely gonna come out this year?
They say 2018, yeah. Ever since I heard of that and saw it, I mean, anything Derek Yu will do, I'm in on. And speaking of that, Spelunky 2.
He's doing Spelunky 2 as well.
Yeah, Spelunky's his game, dude. Spelunky 2.
Are you a heavy Spelunky guy?
Yeah, and I definitely have said before, and I'll say it again, I don't think we needed a Spelunky 2. I think I would have rather seen Derek Yu do a different game from the ground up, but I think if he thinks he should make a Spelunky 2, then I'm on board.
I wonder how you're going to make it like different and uniquer than...
But that's what I'm saying. I have faith in him.
More unique than...
Yeah. I have faith in him. If he thinks he wants to make a game, let him make a game.
I wonder how to like change it up from... It'll be the same guy? And like the same like Indiana Jones?
I don't know. We don't know.
Temple of Doom kind of...
Oh, actually we do know. On the announcement trailer, it was really funny. It was like he settled down and had a baby, and you're playing as the kid grown up. It's pretty adorable.
When you save one of the
that announcement trailer is really good. But yeah, so I think that's the list that we have here. I'm sure there are tons of other games we don't even know about that'll get announced that we're excited for. But for now, that's what we have, and look forward to E3, and we'll see what's there.
Let's see. We'll have to revisit that.
With that, that's going to do it for the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Shelby, our producer. Thank you. And we'll catch you.
Thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your day to watch this two guys with a dream.
Dream, huh? Thanks, everyone. We'll catch you next week. Peace. What's up, guys? It's Dan from Circle Back. I'm just here to let you know you can find everything that we do at circlebackgaming.com. If you just want the podcast, we're on iTunes. If you just want the video, we're on YouTube. So catch us either place. Thanks.